It's almost like betting the stock market. The good part about it is you can take a bet today. In 2 or 3 days, if you nail that bet, you can be able to cash out, Joe. Like you just hit a heavy stock. Like you go into Sun Microsystems or whatever it's called, and you buy into it. In 3 days, you can sell it for a massive profit. Do you understand these markets, Joe?
I do understand the markets. It's amazing how some of the predictive markets seem to have the answers before the test.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
8 3-minute rounds. The gloves are 10 ounces. And Anthony Joshua weighs like 250 pounds. So I'm not really sure how this is going to end up happening. But this is one of those. Normally, I don't give credit to the Paul brothers. And, I give them credit for being great on social media and creating a lot of buzz for the sport. I give him credit for getting in the round with Anthony Joshua. This is not like a Mike Tyson fight when Tyson's 60 years old.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Travion Henderson and a few others have the Pats at 9-2. Is excellence back in New England, Joe?
Excellence is back in a big way. Mike Vrabel came back into town. Drake May has come out of his shell, and Travion Henderson has come out of, I don't know where he was. He was in obscurity, but he had 3 touchdowns on Thursday night.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Let's take a look at a couple of narratives here and play a good game of fade or not fade. And first up, well, the idea that the Chiefs are going to put it all together and win the AFC West, well, that's absolutely gone. Absolute fade from this point on, Donnie, with the Chiefs. Their 10-year reign is over. It's done with.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome to another edition of the Craig Carton Show. Craig Carton with you, Tyrone A. Johnson here as always. That sound you hear, I'll do it for you. Thwack, thwack, thwack. Our windows all over Orchard Park are closing right now because the Buffalo Bills window has officially closed after a 23-19 loss yesterday to the upstart Houston Texans, who haven't lost a game yet now with Davis Mills as their starting quarterback. And by the way, have the best defense in all football. And by the way, at some point, while I know none of us care about the Houston Texans, and we never will, can someone acknowledge that Mr. Ryan's doing a great job as the head coach there?
Yes, he is.
Can someone acknowledge that he is arguably the best coach maybe in all of football with what he's done with now the #1 defense in football and winning huge games to get right back into the playoff picture? Nice job, DeMarco Ryans. Nice job, Houston Texans. Yeah. D'Amico, pardon me. Nice job all across the board. Yeah. That being said, no one cares about the Houston Texans. No one's ever going to care about the Houston Texans. But D'Amico Ryans deserves, frankly, a little bit of love.
He does.
Because that dude says, I don't care what my quarterback is. I don't care what my roster is. My defense is going to be badass, and I'm going to find a way to win. And all of a sudden, the Houston Texans have won 3 straight games, and they are right back in the playoff picture. But what the F is going on with the Buffalo Bills? As much as you got to give Houston credit, tip your cap, because that defense was swarming all over Josh Allen. 8 sacks yesterday. I think 18 actual hits on Josh Allen. A couple bad turnovers, especially that last one that ends the game when he's got a dude wide open. I think it was Kincaid.
Yeah, in the flat.
Coming across the middle, left side of the field, wide open on that final play of the game. The bang, there it is right there. Here's the deal with that. Don't tell me that Josh Allen's the MVP of the league when the game's on the line and you have one of your biggest targets, Dalton Kincaid, wide open, and you're looking at him and you throw off your back foot to a guy who's being double covered, and that winds up being an interception that effectively ends the game. That play right there is everything wrong with the Buffalo Bills, because Josh Allen didn't see his #1 target in the game and instead throws into double coverage and gets intercepted. There's so much stuff going on in Buffalo. I'm trying to figure out who I want to blame the most. And I think for last night's game specifically, the answer is Josh Allen.
Absolutely.
Their defense played well enough to win. You get a punt return for a touchdown, right? And you have Josh Allen out there. trying to play like Superman. And he did admit after the game that a couple sacks were on him, like a 20-yard loss on one sack in the second half. Just get rid of the football, dude. Like, I get it. If no one's open, you live to fight another down. But when you take 10, 15, 20-yard losses, you make it impossible for your offense to do anything. And now I think we have to look at the reality that the Buffalo Bills were supposed to be the next team up, right? When Tom Brady went to Tampa and New England went through their Mac Jones era, and it was embarrassingly bad, and the New York Jets never got themselves a quarterback, and the Dolphins and Tua never really rose up to where I think their fan base expect them to get to. We all kind of agreed begrudgingly. Now it's the Bills' turn. The Bills were supposed to dominate for a decade. And to be fair, they've won a bunch of AFC East titles. That's clearly not going to happen this year because the Patriots are. But the window closed now for the Buffalo Bills, and you can blame being their general manager, and you can blame, sure, if you want, Sean McDermott to a certain extent, their head coach, but you've also got to blame Josh Allen. Josh Allen is not playing well. And I started thinking about it because we live in a society where we like to place blame on people, and we do it here as well. If I got to blame one person and one person only for where the Bills are right now, and look, are the Bills going to make the playoffs? They're 7-4. They still have a great shot to make the playoffs. It'd be one of the great disasters in modern NFL history if the Buffalo Bills at 7-4 did not make the playoffs now. All right. And they are in for the moment.
They have 2 gimmies. Mm-hmm. Their schedule's tough.
But still, at 7-4, you have to make the playoffs.
No, they have to, but right? I wouldn't be shocked if they only won 9.
Which would be a problem for them, obviously, and I think would create major changes in Buffalo with the coaching staff as you see the schedule and with the general manager. But can we all agree to something right now? Josh Allen is not the best quarterback in football. Josh Allen is not the guy with this current roster that's going to overcome the things that are problematic with the Bills and lead them to hard-fought wins. Josh Allen is a bully. Josh Allen and the Bills play bully ball. When they play against weak teams, they beat the hell out of them. When they play against bad defenses, for sure, they drop 30 and 40 burgers like it ain't nothing, and you look at them and go, wow, oh, that's Josh Allen. Last week, 6 touchdowns, 3 passing, 3 rushing. Oh, Josh Allen is back. Oh, the Bills are back. But last night, they played the best defense in football, and Josh Allen looked like a rookie quarterback. Josh Allen was not in control of that game. And then it dawned on me, to be fair to Josh Allen, because we have made the comment on this show many, many times, that he probably does more with less. Mahomes had that kind of same, reputation for a while. Like, we're the Pro Bowl wide receivers, right?
Right.
Now, Mahomes has had more of them for sure than Josh Allen has had. But this particular year, I'm thinking about it, and I say to myself, well, what do the Bills need more than anything else? They need a legitimate number 1 wide receiver. Okay. They thought they drafted one in Keon Coleman. And again, last night, he was a healthy scratch because apparently he doesn't like going to meetings and has missed a couple meetings there. And Sean McDermott has to make an example out of him and remind him in his second year, this is a job. You're a professional. And if you don't act like a professional, we're not going to play you, even though not playing you makes it harder for us to win. They might have won last night's game if Keon Coleman's on the field, because when he's at his best, he's damn good.
Right, and it's a 1-score game.
Yeah, you lost by
game.
4 points.
Yeah.
Like if Coleman's on the field, now I'm not saying Coleman's the second coming of Jerry Rice, but he's a really good kid,
right?
A really good football player.
Right. And you can convert a couple of those third downs along the way and win the game.
Yeah, so, okay, I respect Sean McDermott saying, I need to teach the kid a lesson if he wants to have a career here, and that's called tough love, and we're all down with that. But it also may have cost you a football game that's going to hurt you when it comes to the wild card and your ability to get into the postseason. But the other thing I keep going back to, and it drives me crazy, like the NFL's filled with really talented prima donnas. We know that there's some guys that are just more trouble than it's worth, it feels like, right? Mm-hmm. But you cannot dispute talent. And when you have talent, my feeling is always you have to embrace that talent and never let it go. Doesn't mean you can't be a tough love guy, because I think that's part of the relationship coach to player, but you don't let great talent go. And what's the one thing the Buffalo Bills are missing? A great wide receiver. They let Stephon Diggs walk out the door, got nothing in return, essentially, all right? And it cost them $30 million in dead cap money a year ago.
Yep.
Stephon Diggs is now playing wide receiver for the best team in the AFC. And no one in New England seems to have a problem with Stephon Diggs since he had the boat incident with the pink, we think, cocaine, right?
We think, yes.
We think it was pink cocaine. We didn't see him doing it, but he had it, and a bunch of hot broads are on the boat with him. It is what it is. They've gotten past it, and Mike Vrabel talked to him about, the bad look that was involved there, right?
Keep the phones
But
away.
outside of that, Stephon Diggs seems to be like the most popular dude in the Patriots locker room. And the Patriots are a better team because they have Stephon Diggs. The Bills let him walk and ate $30 million in dead cap money. The Bills' window is closed. The Bills were supposed to be the team when Tom Brady moved to Tampa and then retired that dominated not just the AFC East, but the AFC. 2 AFC championship games, can't beat Patrick Mahomes in the postseason, and now it's a wrap. Now the Bills' dominance is over. And now we have to start questioning, who is Josh Allen? And I made this comment, and you guys all mocked me when I made it. There are a certain number of guys, not a lot of them, but there's a small group of great players who suddenly don't play quite as well once they fall in love.
Ooh.
And Josh Allen, I'm afraid, is the stereotype now, the poster child of what happened to Josh Allen. And the immediate answer might be love. And
Love.
as sad as that is, and as great as it is for him to go home to a happy house, it might have cost the Buffalo Bills the Super Bowl. Yuck.
Let's play our game of buy or sell. It has been a season to remember for Drake May. As of right now, May and Matthew Stafford are the favorites to win the NFL's MVP. Who had that at the beginning of the year? You probably could go through 20 quarterbacks before you got to Drake May as predicting winning the MVP. After this season, buy or sell, we will think of Drake May as the best quarterback in the 2024 draft class. Is this buy or sell? He certainly wasn't going in.
All right, for those who don't know, we're talking May, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix. A lot of interest there, right? A lot of interest there as far as those QBs. He's going to be the best. I mean, this is a question I would normally just take the field, right? Because I'll assume that Jaden Daniels has been really good. While he's hurt now. Caleb Williams, he's getting better and better. I'm still not giving up hope on the other three here as far as Penix, McCarthy, and Nix, although I would certainly have May well above them. So I think for me, it's either Daniels, it's either Williams, it's either May. Isn't this recency bias? Last year we would have, it's Daniels. By far, it's Daniels. Now because he's hurt, hasn't had a good year, it's Drake May. I'll sell this just for the sake of it, Craig here, but I don't necessarily disagree.
Yeah, I'm going to sell. I got Jaden Daniels still. I can't go this far with Drake May. Maybe second best, but it's not even about taking the field. We're having recency bias here. Jaden Daniels, to me, will still be awesome. So next year for Daniels goes back ahead of Drake May.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton. Great to have you. Just one final thought on last night's game. Here's how it winds up now. Houston right now at 6-5 is in the 8th spot. So they're the first team out of the playoffs right now, but they are a half game ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City's got Indy. We'll get to that a little bit later on in the show. And then you've got Baltimore lurking right there as well at 5-5. Now, the Ravens have the Jets. Let's just give them the dub there. They're not losing to the New York Jets.
I agree with that.
So Baltimore gets to 6-5, all right? Kansas City plays Indy All right, now it's at home. They're small favorites by 3.5. If Kansas City wins that game, obviously they stay neck and neck. They'd both be 6-5. Kansas City, because I think of divisional record, would get in over Baltimore.
Okay.
But if Kansas City loses to the Colts, and the Colts have been one of the best, if not the best teams in the AFC all year long, then Kansas City drops down to the 10th spot and would only be a game better than the Miami Dolphins. Miami's 4-7, and they play the Saints. Give them a dub there as well.
Absolutely.
So all of a sudden, the Kansas City Chiefs could wind up in 10th or 11th over the next 2 weeks as we get through the Thanksgiving holiday, and then it's a wrap. And then it's what the hell's wrong with Kansas City, and does Andy Reid step down? And are we looking at a whole new Kansas City Chief franchise if that should happen? So I want to finish the thought on Buffalo, but I'll do that later on, I suppose. This game for Kansas City might be the most monumental game they've had in the Mahomes era. Consider this. It has been over a decade since the Kansas City Chiefs were under 500 in the month of November or beyond. Let that sink in. Over a decade, and it has never happened since Patrick Mahomes became their starting quarterback, okay? You got to go back before 2014 for them to be under 500 in the month of November or beyond, okay?
Real fast, the last time they were 9-7 in the season is what led them to draft Mahomes, then redshirt, take over, and it's been nothing but winning since.
Nothing but winning. So we're in a really interesting spot. There is pressure on Kansas City in a regular season game more so than any other time in the Mahomes era. If they lose this game to Indy, and look, I know they're home. They have a great home field advantage, right? I know they're small favorites, but you know there's blood in the water right now. And right now, this is like a Super Bowl game. Or let's make it a little bit better, an AFC championship game. Because it's a home game. You're playing against, obviously, another really good team in the Indianapolis Colts. If Kansas City loses this game and drops down to 5-6, Baltimore's going to beat the Jets. They go to 6-5. So now Kansas City's in 10th spot. Now you have to try to beat Baltimore, Houston, Jacksonville, Buffalo, and the Chargers. And those teams, LA, Buffalo, and Jacksonville, only have 4 losses. You would already be 2 games out in the loss column, plus whatever tiebreakers you lose. Like the Chargers have the tiebreaker against you. The Bills have the tiebreaker against you. And the Jaguars, all 3 of them have the tiebreaker against you because all 3 of them have already beaten you. So if you're tied with any of those 3 teams, you're on the outside looking in, right?
Yeah.
All right. So this is the Chiefs Super Bowl right now. And I don't think there's a confident Chiefs fan in America. I don't think the Chiefs players are all that confident right now. Their season could end on Sunday. I also think it's the only 1 o'clock game they've played the entire year. All right? So that means they got to get up a little bit earlier. They're going to be tired. They're going to be cranky. And now we're going to see what all the distractions have meant to the Kansas City Chiefs. Because the Colts are coming in trying to keep pace with the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots for the potential 1 seed. They have not lost the 1 seed. They're obviously going to win their division, but the 1 seed is still up for grabs for Indy. They're 8-2. New England's 9-2. Denver's 9-2. Obviously, they haven't had their bye, and the Indianapolis Colts have. The Colts are going into this game, in my opinion. This is like their, what do you call it? Bellwether game? Is that the right word?
Yeah.
I think I would go with it anyway. That's the right word, right?
Yeah, no, that makes
Bellwether.
sense.
Go with it.
Bellwether.
And what I mean by that is this is the game where anyone that still has doubt about how good the Colts are, how good Daniel Jones is, this is the game where they can shut everybody up. Because you can talk about their schedule. You can talk about some of the ways they've won, like last-second kicks, that kind of stuff. You know, they're not a dominant team. This is the game. Let's call it the tentpole game. I like that one better.
Okay.
This is the tentpole game for the Indianapolis Colts. They know right now they're a lock for the postseason. That's already done. But this is the game where the league has to be on notice that the Colts are really effing good, that Daniel Jones can be trusted on the road in a big spot, that Jonathan Taylor can run for over 100 yards on the road in a big spot, that the Colts defense can step up on the road in a big spot. This is a huge game. This is the biggest game of the weekend. Biggest game of the weekend, and we've not said that about a Colts game since Peyton Manning was their quarterback. Yeah. This game is huge. And I was doing a little research because it's what I do. And I was trying to think about where Patrick Mahomes stands now in the annals of the NFL.
Annals.
And for all those emasculated, ridiculous Mahomes stands who think he's the greatest quarterback to ever play. Maybe he's in the conversation. I don't know. I tell you that of this current generation, he's the first-round draft pick. Obviously, no one's going to argue that. But you know the old argument, is he better than Brady? Is he going to catch Brady? All that nonsense that come from the home stands out there that see things through Kansas City Chief red glasses, right? Consider this just for a moment. And I'm not a Brady guy by any stretch because I'm a diehard Jet fan. I acknowledge that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback I've ever seen play and the greatest quarterback of all time, but I'm not a Brady guy. I respect Brady, but I'm not a Brady guy. All right? But I want to show you the difference between non-objectivity and objectivity.
Okay.
All right? And I'm not a Mahomes guy, and I'm not a Brady guy. I don't like either one of them because I'm a Jets fan, okay? When Tom Brady turned 30, he led the New England Patriots to a 16-0 record and a Super Bowl appearance. Mm-hmm. That was the year, of course, that the Giants beat them and ended the perfect season. Didn't lose a regular season game and led the league in like every statistical category, for quarterbacks, okay? Mm-hmm. When he was 30, that's what Tom Brady did. And that's really the prime of an NFL quarterback. Patrick Mahomes at 30 has authored a 5-5 season. So for those of you that want to sell me on how Patrick Mahomes is better than Brady, these same idiots try to convince me that LeBron's better than MJ. At 30 years old, apples to apples, Tom Brady went undefeated, and took his team to a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes has led his team to a 500 record. A case closed. Thank you.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are the wins coming from? And yes, I agree. Are they good enough to win those games? Yeah, of course they are, right? But the reality of this team is not very good this year in one-score games. They're not. That was their bread and butter a year ago. Like every win last year, one-score game, the Chiefs found a way to win it.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
It's almost like betting the stock market. The good part about it is you can take a bet today. In 2 or 3 days, if you nail that bet, you can be able to cash out, Joe. Like you just hit a heady stock. Like you go into Sun Microsystems or whatever it's called, and you buy into it. In 3 days, you can sell it for a massive profit. Do you understand these markets, Joe?
I do understand the markets. It's amazing how some of the predictive markets seem to have the answers before the test.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
Hi, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone's picks are coming up in about 30 minutes or so. What did we do last week? 2-1?
2-0-1. So
2-0-1. All right. So you're 23 8-1.
Yeah.
But by the way, that's a winning season. And he had Tyrone's picks are coming up a little bit later on in the show. Look, you know what's crazy to me? I still can't figure out the Buffalo Bills and what the hell's going on with Josh Allen and Joe Brady. You know, he was supposed to be the wonder kid at offensive coordinator. Certainly doesn't look like it. And some of their fourth down decisions, they did convert a 4th and 27 on a nice hook and ladder play. I give him that.
That was cool.
And then Josh Allen has Kincaid wide open on 4th down to end the game, which he might have scored on, but certainly would have gotten a first down and extended the drive. And maybe Buffalo comes back and steals the dub there. But nope, didn't happen because Josh Allen was starting off his back foot into double coverage and gets picked to end the game. And now we all agree that the Bills window is shut. The Bills ain't winning a Super Bowl anytime soon. You know, Bean's done a bad job building that roster. The defense ain't great. They have no wide receivers. And yes, Josh Allen will be Superman every single week. At some point, Superman forgets how to fly. And that's what you saw yesterday. But there is a game this weekend that, whether you want to admit it or not, you're going to check out at least a couple times. And it's a game that otherwise you would have no interest in checking out. And you'd say, well, I ain't got to worry about that game. But there is a game we're all going to check out because we all want to see it for ourselves. We all want to see, am I right or was I wrong? And that, of course, the Cleveland Browns. And the premier start for Shedeur Sanders. And every time I say to myself when I walk into this building, I ain't talking about the Browns today. I ain't talking about Shedeur Sanders today. I wind up saying to myself, but I got to talk about Shedeur Sanders today.
Okay.
It's like, you have to. All right? And what's crazy about it is we have to remind ourselves that he is not his father, A. So put that aside. B, we have to remind ourselves he was not a first-round pick, not a second-round pick, not a third-round pick, not a fourth-round pick. Why are we so vested in the performance of a fifth-round pick? And is it fair of us to be uber critical if he falls on his face and doesn't play well based on being a fifth-round pick?
No. If you base it just solely on being a fifth-round pick, making your first start on the road, in theory, no. Not
okay,
fair.
and they play the Raiders in Vegas, okay?
Right.
Which they have a decent defense, sure. No one's worried about the Raiders' offense scoring. This game has 6-3 written all over it, okay?
Could be turnovers.
I don't remember in my lifetime caring or even knowing, forget about caring, even having it beaten into my skull that we're going to watch the debut of a fifth-round draft pick, regardless of what position the kid plays. In this case, it happens to be quarterback. And yet, let's all tell ourselves the truth. At some point on Sunday afternoon, if we don't flip it on YouTube on Red Zone, at some point we're going to go to our phones or our laptops, and we're going to just, hey, let me just take a look. What's Shedeur Sanders doing, right? We're going to take a look at his stats. We're going to look at the highlights and lowlights, and we're going to try to figure out, were all these people over here right, or were all these people over there right? Because we can't both be right. And it's 80-20 right now, people rooting against him versus people rooting for him. And it's an obvious divide. Everybody has an opinion. You either want this kid to kill it or you want this kid to fail miserably. You either think he's going to kill it or you think he's going to be an embarrassment, right?
Yeah.
I've gone from day one thinking he was overrated and got drafted where he should have been drafted. I never thought of him as a first-round draft pick. And now there's a part of me, to be fair, that kind of wants to see the kid do well.
It's a better story if he does.
I'm not sure that it is, though.
It is.
And here's the problem, and it's very obvious. Like, the reason the nation is so interested and divided on Shedeur Sanders is twofold. One, every one of us has nothing but respect for his father as the athlete that he was, and I think a leader of men in Colorado. They've not had the success they wanted, but that dude does things behind the scenes no one even knows about to help these young men out.
Absolutely.
And I have nothing but respect for Deion Sanders and what he's trying to do in Colorado. It doesn't always equate to wins, but I know what he's trying to do, and I have mad respect for that, right? So that's number one. But number two has been Shedeur's personality. He has not made it easy for America to like him. or for America to root for him. And yes, there's a racial component to that. Let's not pretend there isn't, because there is.
Absolutely.
All right? There's a good portion of white America wants to see that kid fail. Period. Stop. I'm not among those. I just don't think he's good. And maybe I get proven wrong, but he has not done himself any favors in how he's handled his business since leaving Colorado and going to Cleveland. And that's why we are so divided on what's going to happen. But let's not lie to each other. We're all going to put an eyeball on that game. And that game might be the worst game of the month. We're going to watch. We're going to watch.
Let's play our game of buy or sell. It has been a season to remember for Drake May. As of right now, May and Matthew Stafford are the favorites to win the NFL's MVP. Who had that at the beginning of the year? You probably could go through 20 quarterbacks before you got to Drake May as predicting winning the MVP. After this season, buy or sell, we will think of Drake May as the best quarterback in the 2024 draft class. Is this buy or sell? He certainly wasn't going in.
All right, for those who don't know, we're talking May, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix. A lot of interest there, right? A lot of interest there as far as those QBs. He's going to be the best. I mean, this is a question I would normally just take the field, right? Because I'll assume that Jaden Daniels has been really good. While he's hurt now, Caleb Williams, he's getting better and better. I'm still not giving up hope on the other three here as far as Penix, McCarthy, and Nix, although I would certainly have May well above them. So I think for me, it's either Daniels, it's either Williams, it's either May. Isn't this recency bias? Last year we would have, it's Daniels. By far, it's Daniels. Now because he's hurt, hasn't had a good year, it's Drake May. I'll sell this just for the sake of it, Craig, here, but I don't necessarily disagree.
Yeah, I'm going to sell. I got Jaden Daniels still. I can't go this far with Drake May. Maybe second best, but it's not even about taking the field. We're having recency bias here. Jaden Daniels, to me, will still be awesome. So next year for Daniels goes back ahead of Drake May.
Fantasy Sports Today, Friday starting at 3 p.m. only on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. By the way, if you have questions that you want Tyrone and I to answer on the show, you can email us questions at the Craig. What's the exact email address? The Craig Carton Show? I don't even know what the hell it is.
Yes.
All right, so it's
at the Craig Carton Show.
Questions at thecraigcartonshow.com.
There you go.
So just email us that, and one of our producers will bring it upstairs to us, and we'll answer them live on the show. We'll do that. We'll may even do like a podcast out of it as well.
Yeah.
It's just funny. Just so some people, ask me all the time, what's it like doing a talk radio show? Like, what are the producers like? What is Tyrone like? That kind of stuff. I just want to show you what I get from the producers. Now, I come in, I prepare every show myself. As you guys know, I have notes, notes upon notes upon notes of all the things I'd like to get to. So this is, I'll just show you. You guys want to get in on that. That's the current, block we're in right now, content-wise. You may notice there's nothing on that. There's no topics. There's no stories. There's no, hey, maybe Craig wants to talk about the Bills there. Nothing there, right? But let me turn the page. Because the next page.
We'll have a bunch of stuff.
We'll have a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Well, that particular page is blank.
That
was stuck to the other page.
I know you guys have your own little Gmail group email account that I don't participate in.
Now, in their defense, but I have that in front of me.
Yeah.
There are notes there, things to talk about via the producer.
This is what I got
I have it in front of me.
Hey, Craig, at 11:30, talk about this. I mean, to me, it seems like they printed it. It's actually notes for the show in a blizzard. It's what that is right there.
I actually know what they want us to. I know what they want us to talk about right now. I have it in front of me.
Don't matter because I got something else to talk about anyway.
Well, then why'd you bring it up if you were just going to just to trash them, just to attack them?
No, it's not an attack.
Feels it
because I'm looking through. Maybe I missed something. Maybe there's a story that I should talk about that the audience is expecting me to talk about.
Yeah.
But I got blank pieces of paper. That's all I got.
I have the producer's backs.
in any event, the As the World Turns saga in your hometown of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, continued yesterday. And I guess the overall question that can and should be asked about what's happening in Philadelphia right now is, can you overcome a dysfunctional family of infighting to win your second consecutive Super Bowl? I think the answer is yes, by the way. But it's becoming much more difficult to find a pathway to success for the Philadelphia Eagles on the offensive side of the ball, which they're going to need in a big spot on the road at some point or even in the Super Bowl. And the latest thing, and it just shows there's some people that no matter what you say to them, no matter how much you give them as much grace as possible and as much rope as possible, there's some people just cannot and will not help themselves and will not take the message to heart and just do the right thing. In this case, again, it's A.J. Brown. And I want to be clear. A.J. Brown is one of the best wide receivers in football. A.J. Brown is right to be upset that as a competitive guy that he is not getting the ball as much as his peers, like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua. Pick your favorite top 10 wide receiver.
Because he's on that level, talent-wise.
He's as good as any wide receiver in all football. When you look at his targets, they're like 40% of what the other top guys are getting. You look at his touchdowns, obviously, they're down. Receptions are down. Yards are down. Now, that doesn't mean that A.J. Brown forgot how to play football. It just means that the Eagles' offense, for some reason this year, is not getting him the rock. All right? Well, they're not passing as much as some of those other teams pass the ball. So that's in part what's going on. Their defense is great. They have the tush push, obviously, which takes scoring plays away from running backs and wide receivers, etc. But at the end of the day, they're the best team in the NFC, and I don't think anyone's going to argue that with me. The Eagles are the team to beat, in my opinion, in the NFC. There's other really good teams, obviously. The Rams are right there in that conversation. Chris Stafford's having an MVP season. At some point, whether it's Detroit or Green Bay, one of those teams is going to obviously be really tough to beat in the postseason. But it's the Eagles and the Rams right now, right?
And if you talk about it, the Eagles beat the Rams, beat the Lions, beat the Packers head to head.
They've beat all the teams that are competing with them for the trophy of we're the kings of the NFC.
Right.
All right, so we're on board with that. There's obviously a problem. We know that there's a problem. Deshaun Jackson talked about there's a personal issue, non-football issue, between A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts that's somehow infecting the locker room and affecting their play on the field. I, for one, do not think for a minute that Jalen Hurts will not throw the ball to A.J. Brown because they have a personal beef. That doesn't make sense to me because all I know about Jalen Hurts is he's the best quarterback in all of football, and all the guy wants to do is win. He doesn't have to talk to you or hang out with you or go bowling with you after a game. If you're open, he's going to throw you to football, period. Stop. All right? But they went to A.J. Brown yesterday, and A.J. Brown, unfortunately, is now acting like a brat. He's now acting like the 9-year-old kid whose parents give him everything, and the one time they decide, no, we're not getting you what you want for Christmas, the kid throws a tantrum, right? And we're all friends with people who have annoying kids who are like that, who are spoiled rotten. A.J. Brown is acting like a spoiled, rotten 10-year-old who didn't get what he wanted from mommy and daddy. But now he's bringing his siblings into it, and this is where things go south. I want you to listen to this from yesterday when a reporter asked A.J. Brown about the drop-off in his numbers and stats, and if there's something going on. Listen to what other player he brings into the conversation. Go ahead.
You are not the same player yet, too. That did you say that was?
So I guess Saquon ain't the same player either then.
What?
All right.
What?
But I don't got no comment.
I guess Saquon Barkley's not the same player either. Now, you might remember a month ago, there was this infamous lunch that was attended by Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and A.J. Brown. A.J. denied the lunch ever took place. Saquon and Jalen, knowing that pictures had been taken, merely said, we had lunch. We know there was something bigger going on, obviously. But A.J. Brown's throwing Saquon Barkley under the bus now? And Saquon will be the first to tell you he's not having a good season, and he's pissed about his stats, and he's not averaging 4 yards a carry. He's not going to run for over 1,000 yards. It has been a major drop-off from last year, right? Because Saquon takes ownership of his performance, and he doesn't blame anybody else, at least publicly, right? A.J. Brown is now bringing his sibling into the fight, and he's now saying, well, why you guys all gather on my locker only asking me about my stats? Why don't you go ask Saquon about his stats? Because he's dropped off the cliff also. This is when teams have problems. This is the type of cancer in a locker room that prevents you from defending a Super Bowl championship and winning another one. Now, I think A.J. Brown is one of the greatest wide receivers in football today. But there does come a point where A.J. Brown becomes a net negative for the Philadelphia Eagles. I remember about a month ago when we sat on the show and I predicted and guaranteed that the first drive of the Eagles game, I forget who they were playing, they were going to give the ball to A.J. Brown every down.
Right.
Just so that he'd be happy. And they did. First 2 plays of the game, pop, or first 2 out of the 3 plays of the game went right to A.J. Brown, so he's mentally and emotionally in it. Oh, they're throwing me the ball. And he's had some great moments for the Eagles. But if you now have to worry about one guy and what he's going to be like in the huddle, is he going to run routes? Is he going to block downfield? Is he going to be a pain in the ass on the sideline? As good as he is, there's going to come a point where Nick Sirianni does what Sean McDermott did to Keon Coleman the last 2 weeks. Put your street clothes on, put on a winter jacket, and you can watch us play football like the 80,000 people that bought a ticket. Because there comes a point where your personality, your behavior is a net negative to what we're trying to accomplish. And one of the best things about pro sports and even college sports is the mentality of next man up. And there's a dude on the sideline for the Eagles right now who's dying to get his shot.
Yeah, Dotson. Jahan Dotson, a former first-round pick.
Boom.
He's dying to get the ball.
And Dotson, the limited chances he's gotten, has been damn good.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's happening this weekend, but it's coming close. And I would not blame Nick Sirianni if he's fed up with it. So for all the nonsense you people in Philly talk about Jalen Hurts, which is crazy to me because he's the best quarterback you've ever had, why don't you point that finger at the guy that's causing the problems in the first place? And that guy is unequivocally A.J. Brown. One more week of this crap, and if I'm Nick Sirianni, as much as it pains me to do it, A.J., you're not dressing for this Sunday's game. Let that sink in, and then maybe he'll get the message.
It's almost like betting the stock market. The good part about it is you can take a bet today. In 2 or 3 days, if you nail that bet, you can be able to cash out, Joe. Like you just hit a heavy stock. Like you go into Sun Microsystems or whatever it's called, and you buy into it. In 3 days, you can sell it for a massive profit. Do you understand these markets, Joe?
I do understand the markets. It's amazing how some of the predictive markets seem to have the answers before the test.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
8 3-minute rounds. The gloves are 10 ounces. And Anthony Joshua weighs like 250 pounds. So I'm not really sure how this is going to end up happening. But this is one of those. Normally, I don't give credit to the Paul brothers. And, I give them credit for being great on social media and creating a lot of buzz for the sport. I give him credit for getting in the round with Anthony Joshua. This is not like a Mike Tyson fight where Tyson's 60 years old.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Travion Henderson and a few others have the Pats at 9-2. Is excellence back in New England, Joe?
Excellence is back in a big way. Mike Vrabel came back into town. Drake May has come out of his shell, and Travion Henderson has come out of, I don't know where he was. He was in obscurity, but he had 3 touchdowns on Thursday night.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Let's take a look at a couple of narratives here and play a good game of fade or not fade. And first up, well, the idea that the Chiefs are going to put it all together and win the AFC West, well, that's That's absolutely gone. Absolute fade from this point on, Donnie, with the Chiefs. Their 10-year reign is over. It's done with.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyron Johnson here. His picks coming up in about 10 minutes or so. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Some news and notes from around the world of sports that we don't have enough time to get into in depth, but we definitely want to get to it. Let me start you off in the NBA. A big trade in the NBA yesterday. The LA Lakers traded with the South Bay Lakers, LeBron for Bronny. Yeah. They're saying it's the most lopsided trade in G League history, as the South Bay Lakers now get a guy who will play more than 20 minutes and shoot more than 5 times in a game and not ridicule his teammates. So congratulations to Bronny. He actually gets to play basketball. Maybe he won't be afraid to shoot the rock now that he's back where he belongs in the G League.
That
happened yesterday.
There.
So father for son trade, first time ever.
That's a big
in
one.
the history of the NBA. Meanwhile, the Lakers also fired 2 of the buses.
Yeah.
So, they sold the company, but 2 of the bus brothers, the children of Jerry Buss, voted against the sale because they're like, we've no other job skills, and what do we do? Why even wake up in the morning, right? They each got $1 billion, so they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But they got fired by the new owner, so the buses are essentially out of it, other than Jenny still being the governor of all things.
Yeah, Jeannie got rid of Joey and Jesse.
There you go. But she didn't. The new guy did. I forget the guy's name. The new owner fired both of them because he knows that they're the 2 that voted against selling him the team. Ginny had to know about it, of course, but the new guy fired him. Yeah. And then I want to show you a quick video, if I can. The Milwaukee Bucks have New Jersey they're putting out there, for the midseason tournament and all that. Mm-hmm. Can you guys put that up there?
Cream City.
I'm sorry?
It says Cream City. That's what the jersey says.
It does say Cream City,
Cream
right?
City.
Like, I'm looking at it, I'm going to myself, since when was Milwaukee known as Cream City?
Yeah, that's kind of wild. And
why are they known as Cream City?
Is that an establishment that I can go?
I
Cream
don't know.
City sounds like a place that would be quite fun.
It sounds like a place you might want to go on a Friday for happy hour.
That's right.
Eat some wings and get a couple dances,
That's right. Where's Cream City?
Now, it's funny because I told my 14-year-old this last night. He goes, what are the business ideas that you have that you never, actually tried?
Yeah.
And I said, one of the greatest ideas I've had in my lifetime, I wanted to open up strip clubs in airports.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man, I hate waiting at the airport.
Right.
I'd be right in there.
Yeah.
It'd be the greatest.
And the name of the strip club chain was going to be the Landing Strip.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
And all of them would be outside, or would you require that for the girls?
No. No.
I don't know.
It ain't 1978. No. Right. It's just a good name.
All right.
That's all it is.
All right, just making sure.
Yeah, but I didn't realize they're claiming that the jerseys say Dream City.
No, it doesn't.
But I've looked at this video 50 times. There ain't a D on the damn thing.
No.
It says Cream City.
Now at Cream City though, you find out there's a whole bunch of D's, but not on that jersey.
That's right. Yeah. There's no D's on that jersey.
Not at all.
The establishment in Newark, there's plenty of them. But there's no D's on that jersey. So yeah, the Milwaukee Bucks are now known as the Cream City All-Stars. So
yeah, Cream City.
There you go. I'm not a big body shamer. I don't believe in it, and I have a great affinity for fat people because I think it's hard going through life being incredibly overweight, and I've never made a fat joke in my life, and I feel for fat people. Like, fat people aren't, there's an image out there that fat people are happy and jolly. They're miserable. They're depressed. Life sucks if you're fat. So when I see a fat dude or a fat gal going to the gym knowing that they're going to be made fun of and mocked, I fully support them.
Of course you should.
Like Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll lost 300 pounds.
Oh.
He looks weird. That's my guy. But Jelly Roll did it. Got himself in shape.
Yeah, he did.
Cut the beard. He lost 300 pounds. He's probably going to have some surgery to, tuck in all the excess skin and whatnot.
Under 300 pounds for the first time since middle school.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, great job
so
by
I'm
him.
not body shaming nobody. So I saw a guy online. I love this guy. He weighs 567 pounds. He's like, you know what? I want to live.
Yeah.
So he decided to start going to the gym. Now, before I show you this video, memo to very large people, men and women. I appreciate you going to the gym. No one should mock you for that. Good for you. Get off your lazy ass and try to lose some weight.
Get
All
off
right?
your
Off
your ass. You don't have to show the lazy
fat lazy ass.
No, what are you
and
doing?
Get to the gym.
You count everything you said at the beginning of the segment.
I'm supporting these people because they should go to the gym and lose some weight. That being said, you ain't got to take your shirt off. Like, we appreciate the hard work. We appreciate that. Boom. Like, you could have left the shirt on. We know you're a big fella, right? And I think it's great. Like, I support this guy.
Well,
it's a guy. Yeah, I support this person.
Yes,
all right?
It's a guy.
Yeah. He got some boobs. I'm not quite sure. That being said,
it's a guy.
We don't. If I go to LA Fitness, like, come on, man.
Now, in his defense, if he's wearing a shirt and he does that hang, that shirt's riding up anyway. You're going to see it all. Yes, you are. You're going to see it all.
You're going to see all of it.
You'll see everything. What are you going to wear, a 97X? Don't do that to that man.
So that is a 567-pound dead hang.
He's going to be down under 500 very quickly.
I hope so. And again,
maybe by the holidays.
More power to him. I fully support what he's trying to do. All right, Tyrone, rank these for me in order of most important games. I'll give you 3.
Yeah.
Indy, KC. Green Bay, Minnesota. I guess J.J. McCarthy's still playing. I don't know why. And your Eagles against the Cowboys.
Eagles-Cowboys is only big in those 2 regions.
Yep.
So let me go with
Cowboys trying to get to 500.
Trying to get to 500, but I don't believe in them, and their defense still stinks. I don't believe it's going to be good.
The defense is better now, Quinn and Williams.
Because of the Raiders, I don't buy it. You beat the Raiders, who cares? I'm going to go with the first game.
Yeah, Indy KC is the game of the week. But don't sleep on the Dallas Cowboys because the Eagles right now, there's nonsense going on, which I guess is, typical for Philly at some level, right? But the Cowboys have a chance to not just get back to 500, a chance to stay very much alive in the NFC for that last wild card spot. And I know who's the Raiders, and I can't argue against you. I'll give you the win in that argument. I'll take the L. But the Cowboys' defense has gotten better. Now that they've got Quinn and Williams, now I'm blocking on the kid's name who came back from injury, who is a big-time defensive player for them, and I apologize, I'm blocking on his name. The Cowboys' defense is legit now. We'll see how legit against an Eagle team trying to find their offense, but don't sleep on the Dallas Cowboys beating Philly this weekend, getting to 500, and being very much alive for that last wild card spot. That's on the table.
Yeah, then they play the Chiefs. And then they play the Lions. They're not relevant. I'm going to say this out loud,
Lions right now are not a playoff team.
They're a better team than the Cowboys.
And the Chiefs right now
the
are not a playoff team.
Season is over. I want every Cowboys fan outside of the Fort Worth, Dallas area to just quit on the season right now. It's over for y'all frauds. It's over for y'all.
It ain't. I'm telling you,
it's
Tyrone's
over
wrong.
for y'all frauds.
Watch the Cowboys beat Philly this weekend and change the entire landscape.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are the wins coming from? And yes, I agree. Are they good enough to win those games? Yeah, of course they are, right? But the reality of this team is not very good this year in one-score games. They're not. That was their bread and butter a year ago. Like every win last year, one-score game, the Chiefs found a way to win it.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
It's almost like betting the stock market. The good part about it is you can take a bet today. In 2 or 3 days, if you nail that bet, you can be able to cash out, Joe. Like you just hit a heavy stock. Like you go into Sun Microsystems or whatever it's called, and you buy into it. In 3 days, you can sell it for a massive profit. Do you understand these markets, Joe?
I do understand the markets. It's amazing how some of the predictive markets seem to have the answers before the test.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyron's picks coming up in a second. Real quick, Miss Universe competition's going on right now, and the beautiful gal from Jamaica,
love Jamaica,
was up on the stage doing her thing, and then had one of those moments that whether she wins Miss Universe or not, will stay with her for the rest of her life. So watch Miss Jamaica. La ta 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 dee ta 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 dee.
Lovely young lady. Oh my goodness. Nobody says anything to her
because she's posing. She was doing so much posing, she didn't realize the stage came to an end. Bang!
Man, I feel so bad for Jamaica. You get a Category 5. All right, now hurricane. Yeah. Then you have a woman that goes out into the international world to represent her nation.
Yeah.
And falls face first off the stage.
You almost have to vote for her now, right?
Who?
You have to vote for her now for Miss Universe.
I mean, if she comes back, I think she's gotta glam it up. Like for the swimsuit, she has to come out in the swimsuit.
Thong.
And a neck brace. And a neck brace. So, and a neck brace. Like, how can you vote against her? She's up there toughing it out.
She's come out like a crutch, a neck brace.
Still heels, though. And then still in heels. And walk out there.
Anyway, I feel bad for...
Poor Miss Jamaica.
Come on, man. Like, didn't someone say, sweetheart, don't forget the stage ends. It just doesn't keep going.
It's the worst run for Jamaica since Bob Marley passed away. And this is what we're dealing with, that poor lady.
Meanwhile, if you are just tuning in, the big story of the day before we get to Tyron's picks here in a minute, the Buffalo Bills window came crashing down yesterday. It is a wrap on the Buffalo Bills. They are not a very good team. They are certainly not a championship team. They're not a Super Bowl team. Their general manager should probably be fired. Their offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, does not deserve a head coaching job somewhere. If he runs that mesh play one more time, Bills fans are going to start, choking on their own wings. Josh Allen has not played at an MVP level. They have no wide receivers. They're not a well-constructed football team. And for a team that was supposed to dominate because you have the all-world quarterback, the Patriots are all the way back. It's now their division again. You never could beat Kansas City in the playoffs anyway. And what happened to Buffalo, and I said it at the time, the Buffalo Bills celebrated when they beat Kansas City in the regular season, like as if that was their Super Bowl win. Even in week one, when they came all the way back against the Ravens and put a 40-burger on them in the fourth quarter and stole that victory, they celebrated like they had just won something. Mm-hmm. They are regular season champs and postseason chumps. The Buffalo Bills run has come to an end with this regime. Sorry, not sorry. Time now for Tyrone's award-winning picks. If you're going to gamble, have a plan, stick to that plan. Never chase losses with your good hard-earned money, and live to fight another day, and recognize that there are tools that you can use to protect yourself from making bad decisions in an emotional moment. Make sure you use those tools like deposit limits and wager limits and time limits on those sites. And with that, Tyrone Johnson.
Yes, indeed. 23-8 officially so far, amongst the best records in the country. I checked. Let's go once again, 2 college, 1 pro this week. Let's start in the SEC. Oklahoma just played a big game against Alabama. They're going to come down. I like Missouri. It was a great game. I like Missouri plus the 6.5 at Oklahoma. Oklahoma may steal it, but they're not going to run away with it back to back.
So a little letdown after the big game? All right. I mean, the logic's right.
That applies to another team. Texas was still into the playoff race until last week.
Yeah, and what did we say last week? Told you that that Manning is not a big game guy.
No, he just is not. Arkansas also, even though they have a terrible record, have covered the spread. I checked this all but one game this season, despite the fact that they never win. They play everybody tough. I like Arkansas plus the 8.5 at Texas. Again, Texas may win, Oklahoma may win, but the gap's the line.
If that happens and Arch Manning doesn't play well again, he can't come out in the draft at that spot.
Yeah.
And if I'm Texas, I'm not sure if you're my starting quarterback next year. So do not be surprised if Arch Manning is essentially a one and done and goes to a different college program in the portal. I'm telling you now, if Texas is not going to the tournament because of the loss last week and 3 losses now, Arch Manning is going to be in the portal. He will not be playing at Texas next year.
There have been people, now these are blogs, these are anonymous, that perhaps he goes to his uncle's school, ends up at Tennessee next year. There has been some talk about
I think there's a better shot if Lane Kiffin goes to LSU, Arch Manning goes with him.
Oh, there you go.
I think that's a better shot of anything else. Go ahead.
And then in the NFL, Sunday Night Football, really good game. 2 teams that are going to be in the playoffs, Rams -6.5. To me, versus the Bucs. I think the Rams are head and shoulders against this version of the Buccaneers. I like them to cover the 6.5 on Sunday.
Yeah,
night.
the Rams obviously playing for something other than what Tampa's playing for. Tampa's got their division on lockdown.
Right.
They're not going to be a number 1 seed, but they'll have 1 home playoff game. The Rams still have a chance to be the 1 seed. And with all the nonsense in Philly, if I'm the Rams, tell A.J. Brown to keep talking because I'm going to steal the 1 seed and play all my games at home. Even though I have no fans, I'm playing all my games.
We're not traveling. We're not getting on a plane.
Absolutely right. Hey, listen, have a great weekend next week. We'll have shows every day, including Thanksgiving and Black Friday. So you know that you can keep us on. Check us out on SportsGrid. Of course, YouTube drops at noon Eastern time. And the podcast, download, subscribe, and like, and leave a comment. We need comments. More comments. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully all your picks are winners. And thank you so much for watching The Craig Carton Show.